What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Pisces Omega, and welcome to my channel. Today's reading, we're going to be continuing our journey on the moon, as now we have a new moon entering in the sign of Cancer. As you know, the moon represents emotions, instincts, roots, the mother, the people, the crowd. The moon reveals our emotional landscape, what makes us feel safe, nurtured, emotionally secure. It speaks to our early imprinting, especially through the mother or early caregivers, and shows how we instinctively respond to life. The moon helps us understand our subconscious needs and habitual emotional patterns, offering a path to a deeper emotional self awareness and self care. The new moon itself represents birth, beginning, and clarity. The new moon marks a sacred threshold, an inner stillness where one cycle ends and another quietly begins. It is a time of birth and beginnings, when the night sky offers a clean slate for intentions to be planted. Though the moon is invisible to the eye, its power lies in the clarity that arises when we pause, reflect, and set our deepest wishes into motion. This phase invites us to listen inwardly, to tune into the quiet whispers of the soul, and to plant the seeds of change with conscious intention. The moon in Cancer represents safety for people. It is their home, family, related activities such as cooking, gardening, and do it yourself projects. Other people can be attracted by your home loving character. Your inborn disposition to educate and protect allows you to be a good parent and a supportive friend. But you must be careful not to look after others too much, because they may become overwhelmed by your care or think that you are dependent on them. It is easy for others to notice that you take care of everything. If you are a man, then it is likely that you will often rely on others to do what is necessary. You may be prone to emotional fluctuations. You should learn to forgive and forget in order to avoid depression from thinking too much about things. Your perception of the world can be very subjective. Try to create a certain distance without being bitter. Due to your rich emotional manifestation, you can create a real sense of belonging to the world. And now let's get into the reading. Before we get into the reading, let's give thanks and gratitude. Thank you, great divine mother. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you, vast abundant universe. Thank you, beloved divine ancestors from all the highest realms. Thank you for allowing us to make a timeless broadcast. If anybody comes across this broadcast today, tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year, the goal is to make a timeless broadcast. So whoever comes against this video will get a fresh perspective, learning, wisdom, and understanding. Ashe. Now, let's start the reading off with a quote. Practicing the ancient art of bibliomancy, we're going to shuffle these quote cards up and allow the ancestors to give us a direct message regarding the new moon in Cancer for the entire collective through this motivational quote. After the quote, we're going to be pulling one chakra wisdom card, and then of course an analogy card, and then get into the reading. If you guys would like to please support the channel by like, sharing, and subscribe if you like and find value in the content. If you guys would also like to donate to the channel, please check my description boxes to see how you can donate to the channel. Any and everything is greatly appreciated. And also, if you guys would like a private reading from your boy Pisces Omega, please, again, look into the description box for my email, or you can get it from me right now. You guys can reach me at Pisces Omega 2300 at Gmail. Thank you, guys. Get a good shuffle. Now let's cut. And the motivational quote is: It is one of the most beautiful compensations of this life that no man can sincerely try to help another without helping himself. It is one of the most beautiful compensations of this life that no man can sincerely try to help another without helping himself. Thank you. Let's pin this right here. Move these off to the side. And now let's get a chakra wisdom card for this new moon in Cancer reading. Once again, giving thanks to the great divine mother and the heavenly father, the vast abundant universe, and the divine beloved ancestors. I share. Shuffle these chakra wisdom cards up to get a divine message of inspiration and something we can focus on during this new moon in Cancer. Also, when the new moon is entering into Cancer, it'll also be Sun in Cancer as we are right in the beginning of the summer solstice and Cancer rising. So stay tuned because I will be bringing you guys a summer solstice reading, maybe a little, and also a in-depth reading for the sign of Cancer. And this is going to be reading not just if you have a Sun in Cancer, we're doing Moon in Cancer right now, but also any placements where you guys have Cancer in your chart. Thank you guys. Alright. One more time. Man, that's good. Let's cut these jokers up. And the chakra wisdom card is the fourth heart chakra, acceptance of self. Now, the fourth heart chakra deals with love, generosity, compassion, and forgiveness. And it goes, acceptance of self. It is time to rejuvenate myself by giving myself love. I accept myself the way I am, and I remind myself that I cannot feel any better about life than how I feel about myself. I will not wait a moment longer to accept myself. I honor what my body is asking for, and if I am unsure, I will ask myself, what can I do to be more healthier, more balanced than I am now? I dwell upon all that is right in my life, not what is wrong, and I have gratitude. I accept my life as it is, and I move forward from here. Acceptance of self. Let's get the quote from the universe. Move these chakra wisdom cards off to the side. Give these bad boys a nice little shuffle. I'd like to thank everybody for coming to the broadcast and tuning in, spending a little time with your boy, Pisces Omega. One more time. One more time, y'all. Give them one good shuffle. Nice little cut. And the note from the universe. If you could actually stand in someone else's shoes to hear what they hear, see what they hear, and feel what they feel, would you honestly wonder what planet they live on and be totally blown away by how different their reality is from yours? You'd also never in a million years be quick to judge again. Just saying, the universe. Not to fret, they wonder about your planet too. I love these cards. Smooth these on. One last motivational card. The Moonology cards. Let's go to Moonology for the new moon and Cancer. I like the way this reading is shaping up already. Very loving, very inspirational. Acceptance of self. Walking in somebody's shoes. And the motivational quote, you cannot yet help somebody without helping yourself. Ah, sure. Beautiful. This feels pretty good. One more. Nice little shuffle. Put a cut on these. Got the Moonology. First quarter moon in Aries. Step into your power. The first quarter moon in Aries. Step into your power. Aries, of course, speaking of that Mars energy, activity, energy, courage, and assertiveness. You know, Mars symbolizes our inner fire and assertiveness. Step into your power. So let's get into the first quarter moon of Aries. Something is holding you back from racing towards your next goal. Achieving anything is nearly always part inspiration and part hard work. Believe that you can create whatever you want. Be you. Take action and be smart, but also be bold. Don't allow inhibitions or others' restrictions to hold you back. Be systematic, but also allow yourself to get excited about what you want. If someone seems to be working against you now, deal with your emotions as calmly as you can. Manifesting mix. This card represents a mix of having the courage to change your goals no matter what anyone else says, while still planning and being strategic. And your manifesting mindset. Whatever you're doing right now, remember that it is well as passion let me start that again. Whatever you're doing right now, remember that as well as passion, you need a plan. That's the way to overcome any obstacle. these first quarter moon cards. These energies of these cards reveal where you're being challenged and how to use the obstacles arising now as springboards to where you want to be. Use these obstacles, this new moon energy, as springboards to where you want to be. Thank you, Great Divine Mother. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you, vast abundant universe. Thank you, divine beloved ancestors from all the highest realms. And now, without further ado, thank you guys for sticking around. Let's get into the reading. I practice a very ancient form of tarot, the art of Cartomancy or Cartomancy, which I use the 52 card poker style deck, including the 2 jokers, which gives me a total of 54 cards to perform my readings. Cartomancy, one of the very first ancient forms of tarot, the magic squares. This reading is for the collective, the entire collective, filtering through the energy of the new moon as we follow this journey through the zodiac. This reading is for the collective as we follow the moon, as we have a new moon in Cancer. New moon in Cancer for the entire collective. Thank you, Great Divine Mother. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you, vast abundant universe. Thank you, divine beloved ancestors from all the highest realms. Ashe. Alright. One more. Nice little shuffle. One more time. Cool. Let's get a nice little cut. Alright. Let's get situated. Let us begin. Ace of Clubs. Libra energy. Beginnings. This is a new beginning. New jobs. New tasks. You know, sign of Libra talks about balance. New goals. New jobs. It's about new opportunities and responsibilities. The Ace of Clubs, you know, talks about overcoming desire, building trust, and having courage. Ace of Clubs energy, the beginning of a new endeavor. You know, aces represent the beginnings. Beginnings of what? Clubs energy talks about luck, growth, activity, work, and business. You know, now it's time for new goals now. Use this new moon energy to get on task with some new goals, new jobs, new opportunities, new tasks, new responsibilities. 9 of Hearts. Nine of Hearts talks about changes. Changes for the best. This is Scorpio energy, Pluto energy, transformational energy. You know what I'm saying? But see, Nine of Hearts talk about a wish, hopes and dreams, changes for the best, your desires, you know, wishes that you want to come true, you know, changes for the better. You know, we want to start these new goals, new tasks, new responsibilities, so we can start something new, so we can have something better, a new life, new opportunities, you know. Hearts going into clubs. This is about increased activity, taking control to gain the desires and wishes of our heart, the things that we really want this time around. Use this new moon energy in Cancer. You know, the new moon is the beginning, a clarity, a new birth. You know what I'm saying? It's the beginning of a new cycle with this new energy with clubs, with the Ace of Clubs. You can have these wishes, have these desires. 9 of Heart energy, Scorpio energy. right? The deep transformational energy. Ace of Hearts. And see, things have been set in motion. Look at this moon energy. 10 of Hearts. 9 plus 1 is 10. Ace of Hearts. Again, we're talking about power and authority. Hearts, again, representing emotion, love, happiness, sharing, pleasure, and healing. You know, 9 of Hearts, our wishes and our desires. Going to the Ace of Hearts, new homes, new friends, new family. Talk about joy, happiness, love, and romance, enjoyment. You know, the Ace of Hearts talking about what? New family, homes. Like I said, new lovers, moving. Some of us moving into a new home to begin with this new moon energy. You know what I'm saying? Cancer is about the home. You know, our nurturing environment. You know, and with this 10 of Heart energy, this Cancer energy is talking about our careers. Talking about our careers. You know, our the way we're seen, our public persona, how we're seen. A lot of us want to begin with a new self. A lot of us looking to transform ourselves into a new energy. You know what I'm saying? A new wave of a new being, a new spirit, a new being. We want to regenerate ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We want to regenerate ourselves. I feel the energy of regeneration. You know, things have been set in motion. 9 of Hearts, going to the Ace of Hearts. You know what I'm saying? You already got two multiples. You already got multiples on the board. The Ace of Clubs and the Ace of Hearts talking about power. Talking about power and authority in our business, in our homes, in our family. Take advantage of this new moon energy to increase our business, to enhance our families, to, you know what I mean? To change and manifest the desires of our hearts. You know what I'm saying? Step into your power. It's time to look. These cards are saying, look, it's time to step into your power. You know, accept yourself. Accept yourself. Be who you want to be. You know. What does it says? Stand in someone else's shoes to hear what they hear, see what they see, and feel what they feel. You will honestly wonder what planet they live on and be totally blown away by how different their reality is from yours. You know? Be who you want to be. Use your power. Use your authority. You know? We got 10 of Hearts energy on the board. Cancer energy. Talked about our nurturing. Cancer represents our safety. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and also the very protective nature of the sign of Cancer. You know what I'm saying? Very tenacious in our wants. It's had to be very bold in our desires. You know, very tenacious in our wants and our desires. You know, 10 of Hearts represent. You know, tens represent. You know, the strongest influence, like the end of a cycle and the beginning of something new. These two aces on the board. This is the beginning of something new. New happiness, new fulfillments, you know, new happy family life, new relationships, you know, journeys. Some of us are taking trips and journeys, vacations. You know what I'm saying? Living our lives. Step into your power, being who you want to be with power and authority. You know, flexing our power and authority in this earthly realm and in the spiritual realm. You know. But you know, you got 4 spades here. It's Capricorn energy, you know, and this is like 4 spades. First of all, 4 represents stability, you know, stability. And with the four spades here coming out of hearts, you know, he's talking about the hurt feelings and emotional pain that we've been dealing with. A lot of people have been doing a lot of anguish, a lot of pressure and pain at home, in our careers, you know, in our reputation and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? See, 4 of spades represents the destruction of all that old energy. You know, represents, see, the 4 represents destruction and renewal. You know, this represents, you know, the things of injustices that we have experienced. The injustices that we have experienced, you know. The illnesses that we have endured. Sicknesses that we have gone through, you know. A lot of us been going through things, a lot of legal situations, court situations, this Capricorn type energy, you know what I'm saying? Things that have been holding us back, things that have been restricting us, things that have been diminishing us, with this four of spades energy. Fours represent what? Renewal. Renewal. The end of a cycle. This four of spades represents the end of a cycle, the death of our old ways. You know what I'm saying? The death of the old situations, Now it's time to represent the destruction of our old self. The destruction of our old things that held us back. Those things that restricted, those things that limited us. Now it's time to move forward with renewal. Steadfastness, you know what I'm saying? With quality. We want a more quality experience. Capricorns also, represents some of the finer things. You know what I'm saying? Also represents the things, things are built over time. Sometimes it takes time in building of a solid foundation. Nine of Spades energy. Talking about the trouble that we've been through, the harm that we've been exposed to, changes that we went through, changes for the worse, changes that we have been through. 13, the opposition that we've been up against. You know what I'm saying? But now it's time to use our experience and our wisdom and authority of the situation. But we've been through it. All this culminating up to this. These are the things that we have not been sure of ourselves. Some of us are just not so sure of ourselves with this Nine of Spades energy. We're thinking about, some of us are afraid with this Taurus energy. Some of us are too comfortable in our current situations. You know what I mean? Some of us are not, comfortable with the changes that's coming. And listen, change is inevitable. If anything, change is always inevitable. You know what I'm saying? It's all about, in this world, in this lifetime, it's about adapting, acceptance of self, accepting our situations. You know what I'm saying? But we've been through it. We have been through the ringer. You know what I'm saying? With this Nine of Spades energy. This Nine of Spades energy. These are things that keep us awake at night. The struggle. We're trying to struggle. Things have been tough. And some of us are struggling. Things are happening so fast. We're trying to struggle to make sense of these events. You know what I mean? It seems like, on one hand, things are working for our good. On the other hand, things are getting just as bad. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of topsy-turvy. You know what I'm saying? But this Nine of Spades represents that struggle. That very struggle to make sense of the things that's going on. You know what I'm saying? But with this new moon, this is about, starting a new cycle, putting one cycle to an end, and another one quietly begins. It's time for a birth and beginnings. You know what I'm saying? It's time for a clean slate. It's time to wipe this slate clean. All our past mistakes, all our wrongs, all our injustices. You know what I'm saying? It's time to take control of our situation. Of all the oppositions, all the restrictions that we've been going through, all the limitations that we've been going through. 4 clubs. Now we got multiple 4s, foundations. We got multiple 9s, 4s, 1s, and 9s. 4 clubs. Again, 4 clubs are talking about what? The stability. And now here we go with the clubs coming out of this situation into this new moon. Now to have our stability, to have our foundation, we actively working through these problems. We're slowly coming out of our shell. We're slowly stepping out of our comfort zone. We're slowly stepping into that new path that we want. You know what I mean? Some of us not so much. But understand, this is the path that we have to take. We have to get on that path and slowly put one foot with faith and courage. Like Ace of Clubs said, listen, with faith and courage. Come about as this control. Things have been set in motion for us. We have to set these things in motion with this new moon. You see, 4s represent stability. You know what I'm saying? Job stability, career stability, some of us are not experiencing that. Some of us have not been experiencing these things. Things have been very topsy-turvy. Unstable job markets, unstable career paths, Everything, you know what I'm saying? Everyday life has become in some aspects very unstable. And when we've been working, this is about working every day. Putting working, grinding. You know, and then with the Ace of Clubs, with the strength and courage, and Four Clubs with the stability. You know, with this celebration, we're trying to get on this solid foundation with this new beginning, expressing our power and authority, what I'm saying? Overcoming desires and building trust and courage, now it's time to take control, get away from those old things that we were attached to. Get away from those old feelings now. It's time to open our eyes, and take control of our situation. Ace of Clubs. With this Ace, we're take our power and authority and take control of our new situation. Getting past these injustices, this instability. Now it's time to stabilize. Getting past these things that kept us, up at night. Basically, literally not getting any sleep. Understanding, seeing the change that the world is going through. But with this new moon in Cancer, it's talking about telling us to, it's talking about to fight for our stability and for our homes and for our family. It's time to nurture ourselves and our loved ones. It's time to step into our power. It's time to step into our power with that Mars energy. Our inner fire. Be assertive. Where's your drive at? Starting to pursue what we want. Mars reflects what? Our instincts for action and courage. How we deal with challenges and desires. How we assert boundaries, handle frustration, channel our energy into meaningful pursuits. A healthy Mars helps energize us and act with purpose and integrity now. With purpose and integrity now. And yes, we have overcome a lot. And we've had some very trying circumstances. We have literally overcome a lot. And now with this new moon energy, it's really time for us to take the lead in our situation. Take the lead in our families. Take the lead in our business. We got multiples on the board. We got multiples all the way around the board. And this is talk about higher attainment. This is to talk about the things that we're trying to seek out, the things that we're trying to acquire, higher education, starting to travel, starting to move around. It's time to get on this road. 2 9s, it's talking about, listen, get on this road. It's time to build a solid foundation now. Where we went from unstable, injustice, to now being more stable. Take the initiative to get on a solid foundation now, and take leadership and authority, The changes in the areas of life represented by these suits, the changes in our business, the changes in our homes, take leadership and authority in these roles. It's time to step forward. Step into the world now. Sometimes some of us have been, we've been in our comfort zone. We've been hiding. We've been laying back. Now it's time to step into a new world. Be bold and be brave with this new moon energy in Cancer. 6 of Diamonds. Talking about taking steps. And here we go again. It's all about what? That harmony and cooperation. It's about that plan, that path that we need to get on. The 6 of Diamonds energy. 6s represent what? Paths, plans, the journey. You see what I'm saying? It's about the journey. It's time to get on our path, get on our journey, and collaborate with harmony and cooperation. It is one of the most beautiful compensations of this life that no man can sincerely try to help another without helping themselves. It's time, to spread charity. And get out of that, it seems like it's the energy of selfishness, me. Now it's time about us. This is about the collective in general. This is about harmony. This is about cooperation as a whole. This is Leo energy. It's time to be a leader. It's time to be bold. It's time to step onto that stage and shine. It's time to be that sun. This is that sun energy, is the sun. What does the sun represent? The self, individuality, personality. You know, the sun reflects our core identity and the psychological journey of becoming who we truly are. You know, it symbolizes our drive for self-expression, confidence, and inner authority. Wherever the sun shows, it invites us to individuate, to step out of the collective and mold and discover our personal strengths, grow into our potential. It also sheds light on where we feel most alive and seen, often pointing to the fulfilling life roles and vocations. It's time for us to step out into the world now. Step out into the world, into the grounds, take control of our situation, build a solid foundation, seek out knowledge, seek out attainment, seek out higher education, make the proper steps take the proper steps. It's time to build that solid foundation. No more of this shakiness, you know what I mean? New moon, if we can change. I remember I'm reminded of the movie A Knight's Tale with the late great Keith Ledger. And the theme of that movie was no matter what a man's lot was born in life, he has the ability to change his stars. You can be who you want to be. Take this new moon energy and Cancer to change your stars, change your path, to change your destiny. Change your destiny. Clubs going into diamonds. Time to increase our power. Time to reap the rewards from your work. With that harmony and cooperation. Time to take the steps, the proper steps. Go the distance now. Take steps toward your goals. Take steps towards your investments. You want to get out there. Some of us is hemming and hawing about, you're not sure about what you want to do. Some of us, we want to get into this new vehicle. Hey, check this out. In this world, you got to have something solid and stable to get around and travel around in. So for some of us, if that's purchasing a new vehicle, you know what I'm saying? Or for some of us, if some of us, that might be putting together, as a group, maybe you can't do it by yourself. As a group, come together and purchase a vehicle. Remember, because this is for the whole, you know what I'm saying? And be judicious and fair about it. You know what I'm saying? Two of Hearts. Twos represent cooperation. Pisces energy. Neptune energy. This is about relationships, you know what I'm saying? This is about doing something that's pleasurable. Coming together as a conglomerate, as coming with harmony and cooperation, coming together as a unit, doing something and having moderation. Two of Hearts energy, Pisces energy. This is about balance. See what I'm saying? It's about balance. You got to take that harmony, that cooperation, and you got to balance it. It's got to be fair. It's got to be some fairness in it. It's got to be balanced. You know what I'm saying? And show moderation. Show moderation. This is a message for my loved ones. This is a message for my loved ones. Our loved ones, our ancestors have been coming to us in our dreams, in our sleep, telling us, listen, things are going to be fine. Things are growing. We got the Three of Hearts energy on the board. Scorpio energy. It's time to change, to transform. Things are growing. Our relationships, you got to build on this energy now. Build on this energy now. Our relationships are growing. You see this moon energy here. This new moon energy. This new opportunities. This is about being fertile. This is about growth in our relationships. It's about growth in ourselves. Personal growth, emotional bonds. You know what I'm saying? This is a very beautiful time, beautiful energy. Threes represent growth. Two things coming to make one. Sometimes we gotta build, we gotta join up to build, to add, with cooperation and harmony. Neptune energy on the board. These are the unconscious thoughts. These are thoughts coming to the surface and we contemplating these things. You know, these are the things that we complimenting. You know what I'm saying? But see, now it's time to celebrate our accomplishments. You know what I'm saying? With this coming together, with this harmony that we're bringing with our loved ones. It's time to step into our power, accept ourselves. It's time what? To rejuvenate myself with this new moon by giving myself love, accept myself the way I am. See, there you go. 3 of Hearts. Right on time. You know, this is about growth. Things are growing. Look, this is about the past, our family, the journey. Two things are coming into place. See what I mean? 2, 6, 2, 3, 1. 6 of Heart. 6 of Heart energy. This is about past. It's about the karma. It's about putting these things aside. This is about the plan, the path that we have set long time ago. We've set these plans. We've set this path a long time ago. Now it's time to bond with our family. You know what I'm saying? Maybe as a whole, as a family, you know what I mean? We can't buy that vehicle, outright by ourselves. Like I said, maybe it's time for some of us, maybe you need to buy that vehicle, put together as a family unit. You see the collaboration. You see the cooperation. You see the harmony. You see people coming together to celebrate their endeavors, to celebrate their accomplishments, to celebrate their goals. We're going to have to start coming together as a family, as a unit, to start saying, hey, we can't all, one person can't buy a house. Maybe the family got to come together and buy that house. One person can't start that business. Maybe the family got to come together and start that business. We got to take control, putting things in a family name, and starting to incorporate, and not only incorporate, not only start a corporation, a family corporation. It's time to come together as a family. You know what I'm saying? With this new moon in Cancer energy, you know what I'm saying? With Sun and Cancer energy, it's all about the home. It's all about our roots. It's all about our bloodlines, our family. You know what I'm saying? It's all about safety. It's all about the protection and guidance of our family. Things have been set in motion. Use this new moon in Cancer energy. To build and grow and blossom. Things are coming together. And if you do that, if you come together as a family, if you use this cooperation as a family, if y'all harmonize this energy, things will grow and begin to blossom. 2 6s on the board. Things are coming into place. Things are coming together. Things are falling into place. Things are coming together. You watch how that works, and be honest with each other. Show some honesty and some integrity. You know what I'm saying? And put your family, put your loved ones, put yourself on a solid ground. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can take these changes and take this new moon a change for the better this time. Come together. Y'all gotta come together. Y'all gotta meet. You gotta discuss these things. With honesty. Cool your emotions. Cool your emotions. Sometimes you gotta say, you gotta dwell upon what is right in your life, not what is wrong. Have gratitude for what's going on. This new moon in Cancer energy. Actually, right now, as this new moon is going out of these dark times, letting go of these dark times, coming out of this dark balsamic moon energy, coming into a new moon. Now it's time for a rebirth. It's time for clarity. This is about being safe, bringing your family safe. This is about your home, your family, all types of things. Sometimes we got to do this ourselves. This new moon energy, we got to bring our family together, and we got to do this ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And as people see you putting that energy, putting that effort into it, you're going to start attracting the right ones, the people who have that wherewithal, that have that knowledge, that have that acumen that you need. You know, your inborn disposition to educate and protect allows you to be a good parent and a supportive friend with this energy. But you know, you must be careful not to look after others too much. You got to allow others to pull their weight. You know, they might become overwhelmed. We don't want to become overburdened. You know, it is easy for others to notice that you take care of everything. You know, you start taking care of everything, people will start leaning on you. Now it's time to be judicious. You know what I'm saying? And make sure that everybody's got to pull. The only way this is going to work is with harmony. You see all these hands? Everybody's got to pitch in. You see these hands? Everybody got to pitch in with harmony and cooperation. It's the only way we're going to have this. So this is how we got to use this energy with this new moon. You know? And watch your emotions with this energy right now. You know, it's a very emotional time. You know, very emotional time because, you know, people with this moon and Cancer energy, people are like, listen, some of us can be very serious, very dedicated, like it's no time to waste. You know, your perception of the world can be very subjective. You know, sometimes you got to create distance without being bitter. Sometimes it's like, this ain't for everybody. Some people you got to understand, hey, listen, you're just not ready. You're just not ready right now. You know what I'm saying? But that's fine. You know, sometimes we got to meet people where they're at. But continue to do you. Due to your rich emotional manifestation, you can create a real sense of belonging in the world. You can bring these things with this Cancer energy. You have the power to evoke emotions, the power to bring people together in the right way, doing the right thing. Let's get some clarification. Real quick. The truth is about finances. Ace of Hearts is about the new home. This is the moon. It's about the family. New moon. New moon energy. That Queen of Diamonds, that Leo energy where it's time to shine. Then the truth about finances. It's time to have them tough conversations. You know what I'm saying? And look at the finances as a tool. No time to be greedy and selfish and hoarding. You know? It's time for a rebirth. It's the new moon energy. It's time to put all those old things down. All those old energies from Aries and Taurus and Gemini. Now it's time for a rebirth for the family. New moon. And Cancer. Shuffle these up good. One more time. Alright. Let's get some clarification going. See what I mean? King of Clubs energy. It's the boss. Time to be a boss. You know? It's time to use this energy in the new moon with this Libra energy. You know what's right now? It's time to be a boss. Kings represent power. You have to be very practical in this time. Clear-minded, you know? Business-oriented. The boss, you know, you got to be the superior at work. You have the power to progress. You have the power to achieve now. You have the power to get things done. With this Libra energy. with this Venus energy. Venus what represents our capacity to relate and to connect with people. We have the ability to attract what brings us pleasure and emotional harmony. It points to our values, aesthetics, and how we give and receive love. Psychologically, Venus reveals what we seek to feel appreciated and accepted, and how we approach intimacy and beauty. It also shows where we must cultivate self-worth and meaningful connections without losing ourselves. You're the boss in this. It's time to boss up. Boss up with this new moon. With this King of Clubs energy, with this Libra energy. Because you have the skill. You have the power. You have the skill and the power to transform all this, to turn all this around. You have the power. You have the skill. Again, 2 of hearts. You see what I mean? You have the skill. Now it's time to come together. It's time to have commitment. It's time to bring partnership. 2s represent the partnership, this Pisces energy. 2s represent partnerships, exchanges, the relationships. This is about doing something pleasurable with our family. On top of the 9 of hearts, you want changes. This is a change that you want. You know what I'm saying? With this change that you want, you know what I'm saying? You got to bring partnership into this. You got to bring partnership into this. Clubs going into the heart's energy, and you have a happy outcome. You develop these emotions with partnership, with this 2 hearts energy. You know what I mean? 2s represent what? Moderation. Balance. You got to balance this. Balance this energy though, Contemplate. These are the things, these are the thoughts that we're thinking about. How to balance this. How to balance our wishes. How to balance our desires. How to balance the things, the desires of our heart. How are we going to balance these things? These are these unconscious thoughts. These are the things that come to our mind. If I understand this, we got deep ties though. With this Pisces energy, this is deep ties. We got deep ties to our family. And understand this, we will be assisted and helped and divinely guided in this situation. 3 of hearts again. You see the theme? 2 of hearts here, 3 of hearts here. 2 of hearts here, 3 of hearts here. This 23rd energy. 23. Somebody born on the 23rd. Somebody's 23 years old. Somebody born 1923. I fit this criteria. You know what I'm saying? But this is about growth. Again, this is about the growth. And you see the 3 on top of the Ace of Hearts. You want this new hope. You want this new family. This thing is just growing. You got to do this as a family. You know what I'm saying? Ace Heart, you want this new home, new family, new home, new house, new friends, new lovers, moving. Things got to grow. You got to do this as a family. Things are growing, growth, emotional growth. You got to do this as a family. You know what I'm saying? And include everybody, the children, the brothers, there's a whole family affair here. This is a whole family affair here. 5 of Hearts energy. Then get into the 5 of, but see, this is about learning from mistakes. We're using all those past energies to learn from mistakes and move forward now. With harmony and cooperation, we're taking advantage of all the experience, all that wisdom, all that knowledge from the things that we went through. You know what I'm saying? The confidence grows with experience, either good or bad. It's about the now. It's about learning from our past mistakes now and moving forward now. Moving forward with this new moon energy. Time to move forward in power, in authority, as the boss. King of Diamonds. Now we got 2 kings on the board. King of Diamonds. Power. It's time to step into this power. The power to achieve, the power to get things done. You know what I'm saying? The power to handle this money, like I said, the power to handle this money. You're very intelligent. And the power to handle it and handle this wealth, judiciously, it's about new experiences now, you know, and it's time to be the teacher in it. Sometimes we got to teach and nurture. You know what I'm saying? So we got to start teaching our family the power of finance. You know, we got to start teaching our family. Some of us, we know how, some of us in here know how to work money. You know, some of our family members, they know how to do stocks. We got to start bringing this information to our family. We got to stop gatekeeping this information. You know, we got to stop we got to start shaking hands. We got to have a deal. We got to start your own business deals. You know what I'm saying? We got to start shaking hands and have a deal. A deal has to become in place. You know what I'm saying? Here go this Mars energy. Here go Libra energy. You know what I'm saying? Activity, energy. We gotta have courage. We gotta be assertive in this. You know what I'm saying? And make these deals with our family. You know what I'm saying? Overcome the situation. King of Diamonds energy. Aries energy. This is about the beginning. Look, last quarter moon. Step into your power. It's time to really physically step into your power. King of Diamonds energy. You know what I'm saying? And step into your power, what? With generosity. You see what I'm saying? With generosity, teaching your family. Stop gatekeeping these secrets, this energy, this information. It's going to bring. You're not going to do nothing. It's later for those days to try to do everything. You, oh, this is the one, you the family. No, we got to bring this together. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be generous with your family, with your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? And step into your true nature, your true spiritual nature. Thank you, great divine mother. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Now it's time to step into your divine nature. Step into your divine power. You know what I'm saying? And break those, time to break those generational curses with this power and this new moon and move forward. Five of Hearts energy. See? There, here goes the Five of Hearts right there. Boom. Now, we went from learning from past mistakes, right on top of that Nine of Spades, where we couldn't get no rest at night, where we were stressed out, we were afraid to change. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't get no sleep. We struggling to make sense of events, struggling to make sense of the things of the past. You know? But now it's time to move forward, learn from them past mistakes. You know, boom. 2 plus 3 is 5. Five of Hearts here. It's time to what? Learn from past mistakes. Learn from these past mistakes. And then, because things have been set in motion. Set this thing off in motion with this new moon. With this new moon in Cancer. This is Cancer energy right here. 10 of Hearts. 10 of Hearts energy right here. New moon is about your careers, your reputation, your family. You know, this is Pisces energy. We got to move forward now. You know what I'm saying? Love. And not be afraid to be sensitive, not be afraid to show your sensitivity, show your love, but using your gifts. Not being afraid to use your gift and step into your family and say, listen, hey, you know what I'm saying? This is what we have to do. You know, step in as a leader and as a nurturing leader. You know? It's time to reap the benefits. Positiveness. Sharing money, sharing the wealth, sharing these finances. This is all about sharing the wealth, sharing the knowledge, sharing the finances. You know? 10 of Hearts. These plans have been set in motion. These plans have been set in motion. You got 2 5s on the board. You know? Things are coming. And because things are now, the power is coming literally, if the power is in your hands. With this new moon energy, you're right in the power is right here in your hands now. 5 of Spades, you know. Yes. Now, to build this foundation, you see this 5 of Spades now, you know what I'm saying? It's about we have to use this creativity, you know, and being meticulous. Some of us, but not overly thinking. Don't overly think this. Don't overly think this, you know. But it's about putting that work in. It's about putting our hands. Here are the 2 5. See, here are the 2 5 right here. Hands right there in the grip of, it's in the grip of your hands. It's in the reach of your power. 3 5s. This is about service, serving our family. You know what I'm saying? Giving yourself freely. You know. But see, this 5 of spades, yes, a tough opponent ahead, tough times ahead, because of the work. Because of the work. And is anything guaranteed? What can you guarantee? That you're going to put your best foot forward? Because with anything, of course, there's going to be possible disappointment. We have a difficult opponent ahead. But with this new moon energy and with the power, you know what I'm saying, and with the partnership of our family, who can stop us? These plans have been set in motion. These things have been set in motion. Now it's time for us to pick up that mantle and continue this. 5 of spades, that Virgo energy, Mercury energy. Mercury represents our communication, thinking, learning. 3 of clubs. You see what I'm saying? 3 of clubs on top of 6 of diamonds. Things are growing. It's time to grow. 2 3s on the board now. You know what I'm saying? This is about growth. Growing. You know what I'm saying? And not just physically, not just monetarily, not just mentally, but spiritually as well. This is Aquarius energy. This is Uranus energy. You know what I'm saying? This is a time of freedom, a time of revolution. Uranus symbolizes an awakening. It's time to wake up. It's time to have Uranus represents a psychological breakthrough. The call for liberation. It reflects where we feel the urge to break free. Because listen, we got to actively work through these problems. Yes, things are going to come up, but hey, we should not be discouraged. With this 3 of clubs energy, we got to actively work through these problems. You know what I'm saying? And break free. Break free. It reflects where we feel the urge to break free from outdated systems. All that old stuff has to die. All those old things, we got to put that to rest. It's time for a rebirth. This new moon in Cancer. Uranus challenges the status quo within us, sparking insight, innovation, and change. It teaches us how to align with a more truthful, liberated version of ourselves. Even if it comes through disruption. It's time to change. For the best, for the new, for the family, for the you. 3 of clubs energy. Things is growing. This is all about the growth. Things growing. Moving forward in our lives. This is about practical developments, you know what I'm saying? With that harmony, with that cooperation. Making small steps towards our goals and our achievements and our plans. Things are growing. It's even time to start growing crops, growing farms. Start growing our own food. You see what's going on out here with the produce, with the crops and everything. Man, it's time to start taking that knowledge, that old wisdom, and start putting that into practical application. Taking our destiny, our future, our power into our own hands. You know what I'm saying? With this moon in Cancer. Moon in Cancer what represents what? Our home. Our family. It's time to take responsibility for our home. Our family. Start cooking. This is about what? Moon in Cancer. This is talking about cooking. Gardening. What? Doing it yourself. Moon in Cancer represents what? Doing it yourself. We got to do this for self. 6 of spades. What 6 is representing? The path, the plan, right? Six of Spades coming off this Three of Clubs talking about the difficulties, the problems that we're going to face, you know what I'm saying, with anything new. And the problems that we're going to face was trying to bring people together, trying to get people on the same page, you know what I'm saying? But this is about walking away. This is about walking away from things that don't serve us anymore. You know what I'm saying? This is about walking away. This is about that path that we was on, you know what I'm saying? Those bad decisions that we made. You know what I'm saying? We got to be rightly and just. We got to balance, you know what I'm saying? And we got to show moderation and showing balance, you know what I'm saying? So we can avoid these mistakes of the past, avoid these bad decisions, you know what I'm saying? And hey, avoid the wrong people, the bad crowds. If anybody who don't want to work with us, if anybody don't want to work that serves the whole, the family, the good, the home, then they need to go. They need to go. Sometimes you got to walk away from those people. Sometimes you got to clear these things out your life. You want something new. This is the new moon in Cancer, and you got to clear those things out. Clear those things out, especially things that you don't need anymore. Bad situations, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to abandon that. Difficulties, you got to walk away from that. You know, it's right now. It's time to have newness and fullness of life. You know what I'm saying? We got to get against it. We got to get away from those things that keep us stagnated. You know what I'm saying? We got to come against those things that keep us restricted, that keep us down. You know what I'm saying? And this is the sad thing about it, though. Let me tell you something. This is the sad thing about it, bro. You put the Five of Spades, the Six of Spades together, you know what I'm saying? And you get the Jack of Spades, you know what I mean? And with the Jack of Spades energy, you know, all these beautiful things that we got going on, but you still got people that you're going to have to be cautious about. You're going to have to be cautious, you know what I'm saying? Because people want to see your potential. And understand this, there's things that's set in place that nobody wants to see us win, see us grow like this, you know, because there's a narrative that's been painted. There's a narrative, there's a narrative that's been written, you know what I'm saying? And so people don't want to see us when they want to see this growth, they don't want to see this newness or this rebirth, you know what I'm saying? There's a narrative that have been created. You know what I'm saying? And it sometimes, listen, it be your own people. That's why we got to be watchful and wise, you know? Because the Jacks represent messages, you know what I'm saying? And this is the bad news, you know what I'm saying? Some of these old people that were in our past, they be watching us. They're going to be spying on us. You know what I'm saying? Some like depression, say some people can't even get out their own way because they're so deep in their depression. They so deep in their dark ways. They so deep in their dark habits, you know what I'm saying? These people, they're in trouble, you know what I'm saying? And it's like this. You got to recognize these wolves in sheep's clothing. You got to recognize these people, this energy, this spying. You got to recognize this spying energy. You got to recognize when people are set against you, you know what I'm saying? And you got to use your discernment. This is about using your... Pisces is a very intuitive sign, intuitive nature. Trust your instincts. In this, you're going to have to trust your instincts. You know, hey, sometimes this is like this. Hey, if I'm wrong, then I don't want to be right then. If I'm wrong this time, I don't want to be right. But I'm going to tell you something. If it looked like a duck and it quacked like a duck, then guess what? It's probably a mother duck. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you just got to call a spade, man. Sometimes you got to call a spade and get these spies out your midst. Get these spies out your midst. You know what I'm saying? Because it's people out here, like I said, it's people out here who don't want to see this. It's people out here who don't want to see this. But too bad, shame on them because they're going to watch it. They're going to see it. Because it's going to happen. See? Nine of Spades. Nine of Spades energy. Taurus energy. Because they want to remain stuck. They don't want to change. They don't want to change. They want the same old status quo. They want things to remain the same. And it's a shame. They want things to remain the same, and they're willing to do anything. You got to be mindful. They're willing to do anything to stop this growth. They're willing to do anything to stop the celebration. They don't want to see this celebration. This is what they don't want to see. This is what they don't want to see. They don't want to see you coming together. They don't want to see this success. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it's too late. You got to step into your power. Step into your power. You know what I'm saying? Because this Nine of Spades represents what? Changes for the worse, right? Thoughts that keep you up at night. And listen, you want to see people, you're like, man, you want to lose friends, you want to lose acquaintances, and you want to struggle with that sometimes. I'm telling you, don't struggle. The universe is going to add everything to you that you need in this situation. You know what I'm saying? And hey, I know, yeah, we only flesh and blood, we only human in this. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes emotions get freed. You know what I'm saying? But it's up to keep us cool. Keep a cool head. Be a boss. Be a leader in this. Be a leader in this. Understand this. The genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Speaks of the work we're going to put in. The work we're going to put in. You know what I'm saying? And work you shall. If you want this future, it's there for you, but you're going to have to work, because there's people out here that don't want to see this happen. They don't want to see this happen. You know what I'm saying? But that's their fault. That's their problem. You know what I'm saying? And now, this is what it's going to be. They're going to be stubborn. And it's like this. You got an ox, I guess a bull. You know what I'm saying? This is a test of wills. This is set up just to test your will right now. Your resolve is going to be tested. Your will is going to be tested. Your love is going to be tested. We're going to be tested. You know what I'm saying? And now with this new energy, now is the time to push forward. Now is not the time to fold. They want to test. They've been trying, and it's going to come. It's inevitable. So you got to pull your team together. Treat your family good. Bring them in, share the knowledge, share the resources, and build, and be ready. And be ready, because our future is at stake here. And how bad do you want this change? This new moon. This is about our family. This is about our home. This is about our loved ones. This is about us doing it for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's coming to save us. We got to do this for ourselves, man. We got to do this for ourselves, man. This new moon in Cancer energy is about what? The rebirth. New beginning. Where the night sky offers a clean slate for intentions to be planted. Plant these new intentions. The moon, yes, is invisible to the eyes, but its power lies in the clarity that arises when we pause, reflect, and set our deepest wishes into motion. Our deepest wishes and desires. 9 of heart to Ace of heart. Our deepest wishes and desires into emotion. And set this thing off. Move forward without being in fear of mistakes. Move forward without fear. This phase invites us to listen inwardly, to tune into the quiet whispers of the soul, and plant the seeds of change with conscious intention. Listen, man, it's a pleasure. Thank y'all for coming through for the reading. It's an honor to do it for y'all guys. I really enjoyed this one. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed doing it. Hey, if you guys would like a personal reading, listen, man, get into my inbox, check the descriptions. Check out how you can get a message, a reading from your boy Pisces Omega. You know what I'm saying? Also, get into the comments, you know what I'm saying? Talk to your boy, what would you like me to read on further? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, always, if it resonates, let it marinate. If it don't apply, let it fly. And with always, guys, I love y'all. I want y'all to keep it easy. And peace, love, and soul.